ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and legends of the game. Today we gather here to witness a momentous occasion for football in Kenya. An unveiling that symbolizes a hope that was lost, a unity that was divided, and a shared vision for our future. It is with great pride and excitement that I stand before you about to unveil a former footballer as a running mate to our presidential candidate, Husein Mohammed. I have fond memories of McDonald Mariga. I remember cheering you at Nyayo Stadium while we played Angola. You scored a wonder goal from hard work, through hard work from Patrick Oboya. And right now, we are cheering for you as the running mate for the presidential FKF. Husein Mohammed, sir, when you read your speech during your unveiling, you focused on 3 pillars. The past, and how to address the issues. Na tafadhali, anza na deni yetu ya Harambee Stars. Ya 2010-2011, tulikuwa na coaches Zedekia Otieno. Ako hapa, anakumbuka vizuri sana. Tafadhali fuatilia udeni. Number 2, the present, and how to deal with the current challenges affecting us. Like right now, we do not have any sponsor for the women football. The future. Thank you. The future, the short term, medium term, and long term strategic plan. We will hold you into account for the implementation of these 3 pillars. As Gifford Thomas said, and I quote, "If you want to build a great team, create an environment where people can raise their hands and say, 'I disagree,' without victimization or termination, as is the norm with the current regime." To McDonald Mariga, as we unveil you, we also unveil our collective future, a future built on the 3 C's of football. Number 1, your character, which is unquestionable on and off the pitch. Communication, you resonate deeply with the former, the current, and the upcoming footballers with what you're doing in western part of Kenya. Your commitment, you are our best footballing expert. Your dedication to the national team was unwavering, and you are the only Kenyan and East African to have ever won the Scudetto and the Champions League with Inter Milan. For those who don't know what the Scudetto is the Italian league. Okay? As we stand on the brink of new challenges and opportunities, it is crucial that we have leaders who not only understand the complexities of governance, but who also connect with the hearts of football fans across the country. We have one thing in common, Mariga. We both started playing football barefoot. After turning out, I bought my first pair of boots after turning out for Huruma Youth, now called ASEC Huruma, and won the MVP and top scorer in the defunct Starehe division in the Super 8 tournament. Onesimus Kamande can attest to that, the incoming chairman of Machakos County. In closing, you have your work cut out, Bwana Husein. When you take office, let's go back to the basics where the current regime failed. Number 1, improved governance. Number 2, improvement in infrastructure. Number 3, strategic partnerships like the one we are unveiling today. Number 4, investment in quality, underline quality, coaching and technical development. Number 5, investment in grassroots football. Just like you got an award in South Africa for the best grassroots football in Africa. And last but not least, we need consistency in all those. To the delegates who are here and who are at home, you all have a collective responsibility of changing the trajectory of football in Kenya. We pray for you to make the best decision because the ground has shifted and they will not believe it. To Husein, Mohammed, and McDonald Mariga, we also pray for your success, for grace, and for humility. Thank you very much for giving footballers, ex-footballers, a red carpet event, which we only see on TV. Thank you very much, and we need a fresh start.
Thank you very much, Innocent Mutiso. Some wise words there from Innocent Mutiso. Arocho, I think we can let the players now sit down.
Yes. Thank you very much, Coach Zico and the rest. Asante Jama. Another round of applause to our legends. These are the guys who have made us very proud year in, year out.
All right, we are still going to hear from another legend right now, and allow me to call one of the best players this country has ever seen to give us a few words. Allow me to introduce Josephat.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was one of the best defenders Kenya has ever produced. Another round of applause. Tumpatieni makofi jamani.
Bwana asifiwe. Alikuwa mtoto mtimilifu. Mariga amekuwa na kiwango ambacho ameonyesha Wakenya anaweza. Nashukuru Husein kwa vile alichukua, akaangalia, akasema nataka kutembea. Nasema asante kwa maana umechukua mmoja ule tunajua atakusaidia. Mariga vile namjua ameanza vitu mingi. Sisi wakongwe anakuja anatembea na chukua huyo Mariga, sioni kama tuangusha mahali. Ile yangu ni kusema baraka zikuwe pamoja naye katika hii safari ameanza kutembea. Sisi wote ambao tumekuja hapa naweza sema tumpe Husein na Mariga kuanzia siku ya leo baraka za kuenda mbele na kutuongoza katika mpira. Sitaki kuzungumza habari ya mpira kwa maana nikizungumza upande ule nitakuwa naenda kwa mikakati ile umepanga. Sitaki kuwauliza, mimi nataka kuona Kenya ikienda mahali tuliiacha imerudi chini. The Kenya I love is a very strong country, a wonderful country. People who know Kenya, we always fight together, grow together and work together. Why don't we all arise together with Mariga and give him the chance to lead us in football? May God bless you.
Thank you very much. But before you leave the stage, I'd like you to confirm. Makofi jamani. This gentleman played the game about 30 or so years ago, but he still has it. Well, Kenya soccer has gone through phases for some time. And I believe that each and every one of us here has seen, has felt the phases. So at this moment, I'd like us to watch a clip that will give us a feel of the state of Kenya soccer.
Kenyan football, once a powerhouse in African football, achieved incredible success in the yesteryears. However, the current state of Kenyan football paints a different picture.
The Football Kenya Federation Here is a fresh start. Tujaribu kwa Kiswahili. Hapa kuna mwanzo mpya au mwamko mpya. Kwa majina ni Joel Munuve na mimi nimechaguliwa pale Kariobangi. Nilichaguliwa kama candidate ambayo ni wa kipekee au independent candidate. Kwa hivyo mawazo yangu inakuwa ni a very independent person. And I want to tell you that Husein has been my friend. Amekuwa rafiki yangu kwa muda mrefu. Na Husein naweza kusema kwamba he's a gentleman. Ni mtu mzuri. And I know akiweka roho yake mahali, kila juhudi kuhakikisha ile amepanga na moyo wake inafanyika au inatendeka. And I'm so glad to be associated with him. Kwa sababu pale Kariobangi ndio nyumbani kwa president ambaye yuko. Pia vile vile ni rafiki yangu. Lakini kuna mahali unga inazidi maji. Na ndiposa mimi niko hapa kwa sababu naamini na roho yangu kwamba Husein ataweza kupeleka mpira wa Kenya mahali ambapo inatakia. Kwa hivyo mimi ningependa sote tumuunge mkono na tuzidi kumuombea kwa sababu safari hii ni ngumu. Tumuunge mkono, tumsaidie mahali inawezekana na vile vile tumuombee ili tuweze kubadilisha mpira wetu. Mimi sikucheza mpira Husein, lakini kwa sababu unajua unaenda kuwa rais, sasa na mimi naanza kutengeza timu yangu ili na mimi nikabadilishe vijana kule mtaani. Asanteni sana na Mungu atubariki.
Maurice Ochieng. Good evening. My name is Commissioner Maurice Ochieng. I'm a member of the Nairobi City County Assembly Service Board. I am very happy to be here. The President and his running mate are my friends. Husein Mohammed is my elder brother. We went together to a great institution known as Dagoretti High School with Husein Mohammed and another brother of ours, the Member of Parliament for Dagoretti South, Honorable Waweru Kiarie John. And any time I did not have money to buy bread, I relied on Husein Mohammed. Thank you for buying me bread. Husein is a tenacious man. Sometimes his looks can deceive you. He's a friend of mine. I am a former footballer. I played professional football alongside my brother Arocho, very good footballer, alongside the Mulama brothers, Duncan Ochieng, the Mathare United of the great Jonathan Niva Simba wa Mayeye. I stopped playing football because of a terminal injury that I got while playing at the Shaka Ruturi Stadium. I also did play with McDonald Mariga at a football club known as NSSF. We used to be paid 500 shillings per week. What people have not told you, of the styles that McDonald Mariga had at Inter Milan, I strongly suspect he copied from me. In conclusion, because I am a state officer, I will not indulge in politics. I will emphasize Chapter 6 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya that we abrogated to ourselves as a people in the year 2010 that was deemed as the most progressive constitution in the world. We have to come to a point where our conscience pricks us and we have to want to do the right things as delegates. And what a better place to start than football. We have to make a deliberate decision to divorce mediocrity and seek for excellence. As a Pan-Africanist, I strongly believe that we have the right men to take the Kenyan to the next glory. For the word of God, the latter days shall be greater than the glory of the former days. I wish you well, my brother. I know many presidents, but I hope in the next 2 months, I'll have another friend who will be a president. May God bless you abundantly.
Thank you very much, Baggy. You said abroangoa. You used the word abrogate. Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Abrogate.
Asante sana. Wacha sasa niite kijana wa Nairobi, kijana wa mpira wa Korogocho, anaitangwa Matacho Mobimbo, ingine ndio atasema.
Aya, asanteni sana. Najua nikikuja hapa, president aliniambia hapa ni Kenpiski. Sasa nikashindwa rada ni gani. Lakini kitu ya maana ni leo tumekuja hapa kwa jambo ya maana sana. Na ifikira hala aliwaweka Husein na Mariga pamoja ni kitu ya maana sana. Sasa mpira lazima tubadilishe, wapende wasipende. Serikali ya Kenya ni ya Nick Mwendwa ama ni ya taifa la Kenya? Kama mtu bado anajipiga kifua na amepora pesa, watu wanaumia na bado wanabembelezwa tu. Hao ni watu wanafaa wakuwe kwa jela right and away. Tuanze shinda tukibembelezana na watu usiku na mchana. Ya pili, tuliona juzi ule CEO anajiuzulu. Tunataka tumuulize pesa ya wachezaji ilienda wapi? Akuja tupagie accountability ya mpira venye walitumia pesa usiku na mchana wakipora. Uwezi tuambie umeresign hivyo tu na wachezaji wanaumia, hiyo hatutakubali. Kwa hivyo Husein, wewe na Mariga, kwanza nataka kusema jambo moja kwa Mariga. Unajua mimi ni mwanasiasa, kulikuwa na by election pale Kibra kama mnakumbuka. Sasa mimi Mariga nilikuwa nashindwa, sasa huyu ajui mwenye nafaa kae. Wewe unakuja kwa siasa ujui position yako, lakini unaona umemvutisha rada. Sasa anajua position. Sawa sawa. Nataka niwaambie mimi tukiwa Kibra siasa nilichukia Mariga sana. Na si kwa sababu ati alikuwa UDA, hapana, ajui position yake. Sasa mimi nataka nikuambie Husein, nataka unyoroshe mpira na Mariga round 1, mpige na Mariga round 2, alafu wewe uachie hii Mariga asukume hii gurudumu. Kwa sababu gani nasema hivyo? Mariga anajua shida ya mchezaji analala njaa. Shida ya mchezaji amekosa kiatu. Shida ya mchezaji amekosa jezi. Mariga anajua. Tuwezi kuja tuambiwe porojo hapa. Kwa hivyo Husein, shikana na Mariga. Hii mambo tumemalo ama tujamalo? Hii tumefinish. Hii tumefinish kumalo. Ya mwisho, mimi nasikitika sana na munisikize. We MP mtarajiwa, kaa kando kidogo. Kuna historia nyingine ya kandanda. Kuna mchezaji anaitwa Philomeno Otieno. Mimi ni MCA wa Korogosho, ni kijana wa mtaa yangu na sina chezea Gor Mahia. Wakati alienda duty Harambee Stars, huyu kijana alipata injury. Akiwa wapi? Akiwa huko national akichezea. Sasa kurudi Gor Mahia, kijana akakosa kutibiwa. Akaanza kucomplain. Sasa ile timu ambayo tunawatoa, hata mtu ameongea ameumia, ati anafukuzwa kwa national team. Shameless people. Ya pili, juzi nimeona Lavasa akiandika kitu kwa mtandao. Boss, kwani sisi tunajiuzulu na miaka sijui 32? Hiyo ni ball gani? Lavasa ameandika historia. Lavasa aliumia, amekosa matibabu. Sasa yeye anasema anaenda kwa coaching. Na ni kijana mdogo. Ataenda kwa coaching kufanya nini? Husein, tafadhali, agenda ya kwanza ni ya wachezaji. Agenda ya pili ni ya wachezaji. Agenda ya tatu Husein ni ya wachezaji. Nataka niwapatie matokeo kidogo. Harambee Stars 4, Cameroon 1. Sawa sawa? Hapo ndio mali tunaelekea. Kwa hivyo Husein, shikana na Mariga, tupeleke mpira mbele. Wale watu tumewapatia time. Watu waenda kurudisha makaratasi. Tunataka tujue Nick Mwendwa. Tunataka tujue Nick Mwendwa. Yeye ni nani kwa hii taifa? Jua kifua. Unapigia nani? Serikali lazima itoe order. Na watu inafaa kwanza walale ndani. Those people are corrupt. Waizi, wamepora pesa ya wachezaji. Bado natuambia hapa nyenyenye. Tuende huko, tuchukue hii kiti, tubadilishe mpira. Hao wachezaji lazima wasikie mzuri. Mambo ya kufungiwa nyumba hatutaki. Mambo ya wachezaji kukosa nauli hatutaki, na mshahara ya wachezaji wa Kenya, Husein, kama ni ndogo ikuwe 100,000. Yenye mtu anaana. Hii mbao 10. Those are nonsense. Asanteni.
Sawa.
Jamani. Jamani, mheshimiwa, asante sana. Ni vile nadhani una hasira. Kenya 1, Cameroon 4. Amesema Kenya 4, Cameroon 1. Pole sana mheshimiwa.
Asante sana. I want to assure the delegates tonight that Husein will be the next president of Football Kenyan Federation, inshallah, with McDonald Mariga. I've been to an election, na ile kura iliyopita mimi ndio nilipata the highest vote, 82 out of 85. Na mimi delegates nimewaomba individual kura, na nimewasikiza. Part of the conditions walikuwa wananiuliza uko kwa ile serikali iliyooza ama uko kwa hii fresh. Nikakwambia niko kwa hii fresh. So I can assure you delegates of Kenyans wameshaamua na wako tayari for change. Na Husein ilikuwa umeshafanya 80. Ilikuwa airplane. Ukamalizia complete 100% with McDonald Mariga. This is the right team and a fresh start. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. Yeah, football makes you mad, makes you emotional, but also makes you completely excited, especially when we know that there is hope, because there is time for a fresh start. I'd like to invite the chairperson of Masinde Mulira University, Dr. Pamela Sitiene, and then we will invite the PS to speak after that. So a round of applause for her, please.
Good evening, all members, and I guess I should say all protocols observed, although it's not really a correct word to say. My name is Dr. Pamela Sitiene. I'm the chairperson of Masinde Mulira University of Science and Technology. I think we were the first person to host Mariga about a week and a half ago at our campus, where we had about 6,000 students coming to listen to him and to hear his words. Tonight, I'm very excited from MCA Matachi for really giving us a mood. And he's given me excitement to really speak about football, because football is a passion of mine. I come from an international background where I have a relationship with all the Spanish leagues. I signed an agreement with La Liga under Fernando Sanz, his late father who passed on during COVID. And we were supposed to set up what exactly Matachi has mentioned and touched, and it really touched my heart. And the question becomes, how come Kenya and East Africa cannot succeed in football? Why is it that the West Africans are always ahead? Why is Kenya behind? And you know, for me, obviously, I come in on a relationship background where I bring all the partners to Africa, but particularly Kenya. So when my friend Mariga told me, Dr. Pam, I am running for FKF, and obviously Mr. Husein was mentioned by him, and my friend Sasha Mutai said to me, you must come and support. And for us, we are bringing the international support. We have relationships with different leagues across US, DC United, LA Galaxy, and to be honest, I have sponsored 5 Kenyans from Kakamega and Luo land, and they are in the United States under full scholarship, myself. And we did a scouting for them. I did a scouting, and we did it with Suli Hamid. Suli Hamid is a coach, was a coach for DC United, And from 2018 till now, we just keep, in a small way, taking students to really that place. I come back to Kenya. This dream that Husein and Mariga have was started really by the former CS for sports, together with myself and our team from FIFA, that we had come here, and that was Mheshimiwa and CS Waziri Rashid Echesa. He actually brought us here. We were supposed to have helped change the vision and what you all are saying, because we ask ourselves, why do you have stadiums that don't have academies? Every stadium you're building must have an academy. You must have hotels. You must have scouters scouting Kenyans. How come we don't have a lot of Kenyans who are very good and great in football being taken to Europe and making so much money? These people make $2 million. Why not Kenya? And so I'm so happy that Matachi has really ignited the fire that I had that was dead, but now it's alive. And I'm happy that at least we have Husein and Mariga that are going to run for this FKF. We are very supportive. We are also coming in terms of funding to really help them, bring our international partners to make them win. That is what we need to do, because they cannot win without funding. So I hope everybody is here to bring their money, because I'm here to raise the money. But at the same time, make sure that our youngsters, our footballers are really looked upon and they're successful. Again, my name, Dr. Pamela Sitiene, chairperson of Masinde. I am a chairperson for a university, youngest chair in Kenya. And I believe that Masinde Muliro has a lot of students with talent. We are from Kakamega. Me, Cheble Mindet, I'm a Nandi, so I say I'm Cheble Mindet. So we come from that region, and that region has a lot of talent. And I think with this Husein and Mariga, I think together, we can really take Kenya forward. We need to move forward beyond the politics. I'm not a politician. I'm just a person that really works on just bringing investors and bringing different levels of relationships to the country. So I want to thank you for invitation, and I want to thank everyone here. And please look at Masinde Muliro. We are very forward-looking and the best science and technology university. A lot is happening there, but we believe that during the CAF and the future football tournaments, we believe that I want to ask Hassan Omar, please make sure that Bukungu Stadium is finalized. That is your duty tonight. You leave here tonight making sure that Bukungu Stadium is finalized and we have it ready within the next year and a half. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pamela Sitiene, chairperson, Masinde Muliro University. By the way, you cannot do it alone. Without partnerships, you're going nowhere. So it's great to know that there are partnerships already lined up before Husein and Mariga have even taken office. I'd now like to invite the PS for Correctional Services, Salome Muhia, and then, of course, the Honorable Hassan Omar and his team. Karibu. Give a round of applause.
Mungu ni mwema na kila wakati. Kwa majina mimi naitwa Salome Muhia Biako. Yule jamaa mzungu Muitaliano ndio bwana Biako. Ndio mwenye nyumba mahali ninapoishi. Mimi ni katibu mkuu wa magereza, yani correctional services. Siku hizi tunaita urekebishaji. Mimi kwa hakika nimefurahi sana kwa hapa. Mimi nimetoka Dagoreti. Kwa hivyo Husein ni neighbor, namjua kwa miaka kadhaa. Wacheni niwaambie, in the 80s nilikuwa primo. Primo, I must say I thoroughly enjoyed my childhood. Kwa sababu gani? Kila Easter kulikuwa na safo. Siku hizo, throughout my life, mimi, I have lived in Dagoretti. My parents live there, they still live there. That huko ndiko nililelewa. Nikaenda shule hapo Ruta, nikaenda high school PB, Precious Blood, kisha nikaenda Nairobi University kustudy law. Alafu nikaanza biashara zangu za practicing as a lawyer. Kisha baadaye mwaka jana mtukufu rais akani appoint kuwa katibu mkuu katika idara ya urekebishaji. But I was saying in the 80s, I thoroughly enjoyed my childhood kwa sababu kulikuanga na Safo every April, kulikuwa na Bijon, Waldigard, munakumbuka, Audi Quattro, zile magari, Shekameta, so and so. Lakini Sato afternoon was my all favorite time. Kulikuwa na anaitwaje Mambo Mbotela, aki on the radio KBC, siku hizo ilikuwa Kiswahili Service, Voice of Kenya, VOK, kuhusu AFC, Mashemeji Debi, akina Miki Weche, Joe Kadenge, hawa watu wote. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Mnakumbuka ile match ya Madagascar na Harambee Stars in 87 ama 88 pale. And then karibu wawine, alafu akina nani walingilia kati. Sijui ni nani walingilia kati, and we won that match. I think it was in 87 pale. I was very proud of being a Kenyan. I'm one person who is a deadly patriot. And I've always been proud of all our football players, Miki Weche, Mohammed, Mahmoud Abbas, and the ones that came after, Dennis Oliech, Dan Odhiambo, Dan Shikanda, akina nani wengine, mnawakumbuka wale wote. And then, na akina Peter Dawo, Wycliffe Anyangu, hao wote. And then tukaharibu soka. What's wrong with us? Tunaharibu soka kwa nini? Ukiona English Premier League, what I follow, and that is because of my husband, is English Premier League. Yeye ni fan wa Chelsea, mimi ni Arsenali damu. Yeye ni Chelsea, mimi Arsenali damu, nimekataa kung'atuka. Hata hivyo, ukiangalia English Premier League na La Liga yeye ni fan wa AC Milan. Mimi sina supporter, maybe namsupport tu AC Milan pale, manake sijui ni support nani mwingine. But when you see the professionalism of those people, and when you compare with us, what do we lack? We have the intellect, we have the land, we have the people, we have the resources. Shida yetu ni nini? Leadership. Leadership. Ni kama tuna viroboto. Leadership. Tunaharibu. Lazima tuharibu. Why do we want to spoil? Angalia vile Safo was nice. Really nice. Angalia vile Gor na AFC na Shabana na KBL wakicheza. It was so good. Why can't people earn from those things? Why can't people earn a living? English Premier, they earn. They are able to support their families. They are able to do great things for the society, for the community. None of these players from the English Premier League who are Africans, they are able to come back and help. We have no excuses, wenzanguni. We have no excuses. Nawahimiza. We cannot have young people not be able to make a livelihood out of football. Katika magereza sisi tuko na sports. Na ndio sababu ningetaka kushirikiana na Husein, na naomba inshallah atakuwa president. Kwa sababu tunaweza shirikiana, tuwatengenezee all pitches from the grassroots levels. Manake sisi we have industries. Tuwatengenezee infrastructure. We collaborate. Si mnajua Moi Sports Complex was made by prisoners, Chinese prisoners. Tunaweza fanya hii maneno. There is no reason why we should not have proper leadership. There is no reason why we should not embrace the 6th chapter of the Constitution on character, on integrity, on using resources. Money is only a tool. Sijuangi kwa nini we have such a bad relationship with money. Pesa tukiona inatubabaisha, yet it is a tool that God has created so that we can improve our livelihood. And if we contextualize na tuone pesa as a tool that it is, we can use it for the benefit of everybody, and everybody will be a beneficiary, and we will all improve, especially our sportsmen. Hii ni aibu mbaya sana, aibu kubwa sana, aibu ndogo. Unapata ati football player anafungiwa nyumba. Why? And that was his talent. We should be able to monetize our talents. Na mimi na kuahidi Husein na McDonald Mariga, and I really hope you people will win. Mkiwin, inshallah, tushirikiane. We improve soccer from the grassroots. We monetize. We make it a business enterprise, a multi-billion business enterprise, because we can do it. See, it is valid. It is possible. Tunaweza fanya hivi. And tutashirikiana sisi katika idara ya magereza na nyinyi to make sure that in future, huu mwanzo mpya ambao tunaongea juu yake, all players can actually earn a decent living from the talent that God has given you. There is a reason why God has given you this talent. And it would be in his greatest desire that you can monetize it. Whether you're a man or a woman. Turudie hizo enzi za kitambo when soka ilikuwa imefana sana hapa Kenya. I really wish we could go back to those days. Tunacheza AFCON, tuna represent, Kenya ina represent Africa in the World Championships. Why can't we do it? After all, we compete in athletics. What is so different about football? It is only management. It is only integrity. It is only doing away with selfishness. If we can do away with selfishness and become visionary leaders, we can take this country to the next level. I have no doubt in my mind kwa yule rafiki yangu Husein na mwenzake McDonald Mariga wanaweza kutuanzisha mwanzo mpya. Great times are ahead of us. Let us embrace. Let us give them support. Let us dream again. Let us dare to dream that we as a country can become great again in this space of football and soccer. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Madam PS, Salome Muhia Biko, PS Correctional Services. You know, every time I hear people talking about the Premier League, or the English Premier League as you call it, it's actually just Premier League, not English Premier League. Everybody lights up. When you mention Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, people light up. But when you mention Gor Mahia, okay, my loud relatives are over there. But you mentioned Gaspo, you mentioned Kahawa Pride, Ulinzi Starlets, you mentioned Wazito. Where's the excitement? Shame on us. Where's the excitement? If I say Chelsea, Man City, where's the excitement when we talk about our own clubs? It's because we've lacked the leadership. We've lacked so many things in how we structure our game, in the marketing, in the branding, in making it popular, in making the fans want to be associated with our own club. So work is cut out for you, my friend Husein. But I've known Husein for like 20 years. We have gone through hell and back for this game. Sometimes I get tired of beating my head. It's like beating your head on a brick wall. Husein, thank you for not giving up. Thank you so much for not giving up. I'll allow the best speakers in the room, otherwise known as the honorables, to say a few words. A few is not the word to use. The Honorable Hassan Omar, I believe you also have your team who have come with you. You can introduce them. And then we will hear from Husein himself, who will then take us through the unveiling. So a round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, Carol. You mentioned all the teams, but you didn't mention the two teams I support. But Bandari, and Liverpool. That's why there was no excitement. Salome, I think Husein invited you because you are PS Correctional Services. And Mataj said Nick should be in jail. Sasa, you should immediately swing into service. But before I proceed, I would want to invite one or two speakers. Because of the special status you hold with Mariga, despite being a member of parliament, I'll first invite my brother from Langata, Felix Odiwar, otherwise known as Jalash.
Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa Omar, and definitely Mr. President. You've always been my friend. We've walked this journey together for a very long time. Any other function that you've always had, or any other function that we've had that is about football, you've always graced us. I'm happy to be here today to assure you of my support. The journey that we are about to take now is even longer because we are the home stretch, and definitely finances will be needed. And if you are in this room and you support Husein and Mariga, please come out and also financially support them. That would be the only way that they get to see this, because they want to transverse the whole country, move around the country, participate in the elections, and make sure that at the end of it all, they bring it home. Personally, with football, that is where our heart has always been. There's a time we started something very small. It was called Kiss for Football. I was working at Kiss FM, and Caroline Mutoko, and Carol Radul, and Shekanda, and a few guys started calling people to come back to the stadium. And they started coming back so well. Stadium started getting filled, and when some leadership came in, what we had worked for a very long time just started dwindling, and to date, you know the state of our football. It's in a very sorry state. But in here is the full stakeholders, the football stakeholders, who can decide and make the change that we always want. A friend of mine, he's called Bob, has his team called Kulundeng, where he has embraced former players. And you can see the status of some of the former players. It's very, very dark, and that's not the way footballers who have worked so hard with their talent should be living. Today, you see some footballers telling you what she was saying, nyumba imefungwa. Nyumba imefungwa, mheshimiwa, saidie hapa na pale. And thinking that were it not for my talent, I would not be standing here speaking to you guys. It's my talent that got me this space. So their talent should also do the same for them. Let's hold football and make sure that we bring this thing back. But then again, I have a small challenge to the stakeholders here. I've always asked myself, is Kenyan football about Gor Mahia and AFC Leopard? I really don't think so. And I said this somewhere and wrote it on my Facebook sometime, and so many people thought it was a brilliant idea, that when this leadership comes in, at least let's think about inter-county football. You know, Chelsea is a place. Homa Bay is also a place. Manchester is a place. Nyeri is also a place. And we could have this so many derbies coming in, all right? The Ugali derby when Kakamega plays Vihiga, that would be a big one. Or Mulema versus Kisumu, that would be a big one also. You see, it will be so big. Why am I saying this? We already have support our base support. Chelsea already have people live in Chelsea. People in Manchester are already there and they have fans there. Vihiga already have people there. So can you imagine when their teams now come to play against each other? We could have a 20-team league where the first 20 counties are in the first tier. The other 20 will definitely be on the second tier. And the last 7 would be down there, definitely. Kwa kina Kadondio. Watakuwa huko chini. I don't want to say it, but truth be told, I think inter-county leagues will be very, very big. Why am I saying this? Every single governor is building a stadium out there. And the stadiums are rotting and millions are being spent. So can you imagine when these leagues now go also back to the counties? Just like Ipswich is a place, Tottenham is a place, and I can tell you Isiolo is a place, and definitely Nairobi is also a place. I think it would be a very, very big thing if we start thinking that way. We would have our league, but also think about inter-county leagues on what we can do about it. Thank you so much. I don't have much to say. Husein, you have my support all the way. As much as you've never bought me bread anywhere, like you bought for Baggy, but now, right now is in bread base. Is in bread base, and that's why where he is, and I know he will give you his full support. May God bless you, and thank you so much.
Liverpool is also a city. Mombasa is also a town. When I was launching my first bid for Senate, my teachers said the kindest things ever. And I was like, I didn't know they thought that about me. So we have Mariga's teacher, who's also the member of parliament for Kibra, Bwana Peter Ocheng Orero, to come and say a few words.
Habari zenu. Mimi siko bread based. Hiyo ni bagi na jalasa. Husein na Mariga. Sijaona Mariga. Oh, anakuwa unveiled. No, Husein is not unveiled. Oh, hii ni yake. Oh, amejificha. Buda ndio niliona hapa. Najua siku moja budake alikuwa na coach railways. Nikaenda training. I was also a footballer. Na alikuwa nabeba mawe 20 kwa mkono. Sasa unaenda round anaangusha mawe moja. Unaenda 20 laps. Anaitwa Nyama. Thank you so much, Mariga's father. Yuko hapa. Just wave. Huyu alichezea FC 16 years na Harambee Stars 11 years. I'm grateful to be here. Mimi jina yangu ni mwalimu tu. Lakini nikiangalia hapa professional players wale wazito wa Kenya wote walipitia kwa mkononi mwangu. Hata hapa nikiamusha wakina Daddy, wakina Oboya wako hapa. We started with them at a very, very tender age. Lakini before I say one or two things, I worked with the 2 people I would wish that Husein, you see them, because I will ask the federation where you will be a president to work closely with the schools. When you go to nationals, the field is packed. So I carried the vice chairman of Kenya Secondary School Sports Association. Here I invited him. Bwana Okumu. Mnasikia wasichana wakishangilia sana. Those are his girls. The ones who came from his hands. He specializes in girls, but me boys. So unajua vile anakaa, unaona tunakaa differently. Yeye ni wasichana, akifanya hivi wanasanya wanawika. I also invited the vice chair of secondary schools in Nairobi, Bwana Bunyasi, who is also here. I brought them so that as you become the president, you work with them very, very closely. Then I invited the secretary for Kenya Basketball Federation. I don't know whether she's here. Ama ameepa. Angie. Oh, she's here. The federation where the secretary is a lady. I want you to talk to her to help you know how to run a federation. That is why she's here. Si munaona basketball wameweza? Eh? You will not say something. Just say hi.
Good evening. Husein and Mariga. Mariga, I know Mariga for very many years, and simply because I'm the one who introduced his sister to basketball when she was still in high school, and she's now playing professional. It's very exciting to see that there is talent beyond playing the game. I was also a player. I played basketball. I was a national team player, national team captain, but moved on from there into the administrative space. So I'm very happy to see that there's somebody else coming into the administrative space who understands players, who's been there, who's done that, and who can be able to stand up for players. Thank you.
See, that was fine, eh? So she moved Mercy to international, but Mercy was also my student, Mercy Wanyama, and she's still our captain of the national team. So we appreciate. Mwami, huyu anajua tu Kiluya peke yake, sijui ataongeaje.
Asante sana mheshimiwa. Good evening all. My name is Ken Bunyasi. I'm a teacher. I'm the principal of Hospital Hill High School. I have a very long history and association, by extension through Mheshimiwa Orero with the Mariga family. I've known Mariga for many years, I think more than 20 years. I went with him to the national level. All his time when he was a student at Kamukunji High School, Orero was a coach, and every time Kamukunji could qualify for nationals, the only name they knew, the only teacher they knew that should be their team manager at the national level all the time was none other than Ken Bunyasi. Tulikuwa tukienda kule, nilikuwa najua kuwachangamsha kabisa. Nawaambia mkienda kucheza, unaweza fanya na unaweza kula chenye unaweza kula, alafu ukikuja kwa hiyo game ucheze vizuri kabisa. And they did that for many years, and they were winning at the national level. At the other club levels, I've also served in AFC as assistant treasurer and also assistant secretary. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Ayokumu aliniharibia players. Hii akiwa TM nawaambia mnaweza kula Kenya mnataka ndio mshinde. That is when Mariga was in Form 1. Just a word.
I wish to start by thanking Muhesh and the organizers for inviting me. Tom Arocho, do you attest that the football activities that have drawn the largest crowds in the last 2 years have been school football activities?
Yes, sir.
Agoro Sare versus any other person?
Yes, sir.
From across Kenya, western to coast,
Yes,
whether
sir.
it was Serani playing or Bukembe playing.
Yes.
Sir Husein, I request that you work with schools. You will get it right. Thank you so much.
Asanteni sana. Now, mine is very, very brief. The story about the Wanyama family, I will not say here because I know all of them. I started with Sili, a great player, played for Sony, and all of the others, Mugabe, Mariga. So I think when you have Mariga as the vice president of Kenya Football Federation, we will not go wrong. And when they are with Husein, I think this country will move to the next level. I always believe good management. In good management, we ask you, please, nurture the talents, make this country grow. I am where I am because of sports. I like making sure that where I am, the sport grows. If I was not a sportsman, I would not be where I am now. I got the name because of winning. I never lose a game. I can lose one, but not the second time. So during my time in Kamkunji, I think we won throughout in football, and netball and basket. And everywhere I went, I was in Langata. Unaona daddy pale, huyo alikuwa genius player. Daddy yuko wapi? One of the most talented players Kenya has ever had, na Oboya. Oboya naye tulikuwa naye kamu. Oboya yuko? Hao wote walikuwa vijana wangu. I can tell you for sure, all the players who passed through my hands, I gave them full scholarship. None of them paid a single cent in my hands. And they are where they are because of sports. Lakini, hii football ya Kenya, sijui mamefanyia nini. Because the players go, they play, they still ask us to support them. We want a situation where all our players in the Premier League are able to take care of themselves and to take care of the others who come after them. They should be idols, they should be, all the other players should be looking at them. I want to ask you, mkituona hapa, tumekuja, mimi nimekuja, Jalasa amekuja, naona bagi pale, amekuja, simujue broad base iko hapa, na bread base pia iko hapa. We are fully behind you, we will support you. Some of us can help you get some delegates, but that one we'll share after this. We don't need to talk much because people are tired, but believe you me, we will support you to get other delegates to support you. Even if we get 5, sio itasaidia. So our duty here is to help them win. I hope that as we move on, kutokea saa hizi, this is when it begins. Zile zingine za before muache. Matacha amewaambia, sitaki kurudia, sisi ni wanasiasa, tunataka nyinyi muende mbele, we will support you and everything will be okay. I want to wish Mariga a very, very special. Unajua alikuwa mwanafunzi wangu na tuka contest na yeye last election. Tulikuwa naye Kibra. Ilikuwa kivumbi, lakini hatukupigana. We were friendly, we did a friendly war, lakini utamwambia mimi nitamsupport hapa, pale aniwachie sasa Akuja ani support, ndio simwekubaliana na mimi. Mimi ni msupport kwa sports na pale aniwachie niendelee huko atoke. Matacha amesema tuko pamoja, Mungu awabariki.
Asante sana. Mulisikia mwalimu Peter Orero alisema he can lose one game but not the next one. You should advise Manu. Sasa, I just want to recognize 3 people and then I say a couple of things. I want to recognize Bwana David Mugoni, who's here, who's the Director General of the Communications Authority. We have the Deputy Chief of Staff, Deputy Secretary to the Cabinet, Bwana Kipchumba Karori. We have a very distinguished lawyer, Mahat Somane. But for a minute, I want the President of the Rugby Union, Sasha Mutai, to come and say a word.
Yes, habari zenu? Yeah, thanks for that ambush. Husein, my good friend. We've been through the trenches. I know him very many years. There's one time we were driving cars at a wedding many years ago at a friend's place. But rugby and football are very closely associated. We've come into rugby and cleaned up, which is very important. We know what happened there. Ours probably is not as publicized as ile ya kandanda, but tulikuwa na shida pia. But one thing that we have in this country and we should not take for granted is the young people. As we all played, then we retired. The best place for football and for any person is on the pitch. The best place for any rugby person, like for me, ni kwa kiwanja. So you have to make this thing better than we found it and when we played. Yeah, because it's for them. It's for those young people. I retired in 1999, broke my leg for the game, but I loved the game. I was back. You have to make it for those young people. That is what you have to do. And rugby and football can work together in terms of facilities. I was in Madrid earlier this year when Kenya qualified for the HSBC 7 Series, and that was in Atletico's stadium. So in terms of infrastructure, we should work together. Yeah, and together, working together as Kenyan sports, all of us, this past week also had a talk with Athletics Kenya. If we come together, we'll be very powerful. But leadership, most important thing is to have the right person, the right team. And Mariga, I've been at Mariga's brother's house in London. I went for the North London Derby 2016. And I took my nephews to see Wanyama. I think that game was 1-1. And it was even an own goal, so Arsenal didn't even score. Anyway, that's a story for another day. But I was the best uncle. Took my nephews to Victor's house, which even had heating kwa floor. Wazungu. I have some Wazungu cousins and nephews. So they were actually shocked that. And I said, I've taken you to a professional footballer's house with underfloor heating. Wakashanga. And that is where Kenyans should be. We also have players, young players on scholarship. We have the talent. Let's work together. Let's put the right team over there. Let's win together. Thank you very much. All the best.
Asante sana. I see some of the greatest names in sports. Some people I greatly admire their passion for just sports in its entirety and youth development. People who know Caro Radu know that Caro and sports, Carol and passion for sports are one and the same thing. So seeing you here, I told my brother Husein, this is a big endorsement. Seeing Arocho here also gives me great joy that people who care for this country and the country's youth and the sports of this country are all gathered here today with one common purpose, a fresh start. And I think that for me is an amazing thing. I'm a very big admirer of the young talents that we actually have on the global scene and even at the local scene. I remember Mzee, as I said, I'm a very big Liverpool supporter for almost 40 years. So one day Liverpool was playing Tottenham in Anfield. And I love Victor, at that time, Victor Wanyama was playing for Tottenham. And I don't know, we were racing. We were just at the point of recovery with Jurgen Klopp. To tell you the admiration Kenyans have for their own. Victor Wanyama scored the most memorable goal against Liverpool in Anfield at the 80th minute for a game we needed to win. And yet all the Kenyans in that room cheered that goal, notwithstanding that they were Liverpool supporters. That's the passion. Our sportsmen and women who've excelled at the highest level are some of our best ambassadors, the most humble people, the people who hold Kenya's flag so high, which most of us sabotage. They are the people who ensure that Kenyans sometimes come together for a common purpose. Those of you who remember 1987, the African Cup of Nations, I hope and pray that Husein, we will relieve that spirit in 2027, with Nick away from football and you and Mariga leading it. We will fill our stadiums. We will fill our TV stations. We will be able to have a rebirth of Kenyan soccer and Kenyan sports generally. Sasha, we used to wake up at night to watch Kenya play the HSBC Sevens. Somebody just messed it up, but I'm grateful that you brought it back. We wake up at midnight at 1 a.m. to watch legends race only for 2 minutes, Faith Kipyegon. We watch the likes of Eliud Kipchoge. They bring so much pride and joy to this country, but that joy dies immediately they retire from that sport. And that is the story of Kenyan sports. So when I see my friend for over 2 decades, he was in a school next to me. He was in Dagoretti. I was on the other side of the road, Lenana. Husein has been a passionate football person, playing it and starting the most successful grassroots soccer development program and competition, Super 8. I used to remember I will go to some of those matches and be the chief guest. Husein, whenever you post pictures of your Super 8, you post the one with Ronaldinho, but you don't post the one I was at. Husein anang'ara na Ronaldinho, alikuja kwa Super 8 moja, but he forgets I've also been attending his Super 8. And that's the passion. And I think it's time to fix Kenyan football, like it is the time to fix many other things. So when Husein told me that he had actually identified Mark as his running mate, I thought, what an amazing combination. A man with strong credentials in soccer administration and a footballer. I believe Mariga is the most successful footballers in Kenyan history, largely because he excelled where most of us might not have been. And he is a role model to many. Winning the Champions League, playing in Inter Milan. I remember even Raila once wrote a letter when he was to play for Man City. And that is the story these young people need to tell the world. So when you told me, I think if some of us learned a bit of humility from some of Kenya's most celebrated legends, meet Faith Kipyegon and you'll tell this is a humble woman. Meet Eliud Kipchoge, you will be dazzled by the humility. Meet McDonald Mariga, you will see a man so humble, yet has lifted the biggest crown in club soccer. Lakini tupatana na sisi bwana. Tashangaa. Yet these people have not been celebrated enough. So I was very excited that you brought in your team, not just talent, but humility. What defines Mark more than anything else is humility. Mark will stand up wherever he is and come and say hello no matter how big a star he is. Matach, don't hold it against Mark. Sometimes people try these things because in politics, you can use power for good. Not all the time is power used for bad causes. In fact, you can't change many things unless you have power. Obama said why he was running for the capital. He said, when great ideas are not backed by consumerate power, they just become that, great ideas. So that great idea must be backed by a credible and a successful onslaught for power. So your power is in FKF to change football. And I wish you the very best in building collaborative partnership with government in terms of building sports infrastructure. It cannot be that this country does not have an international stadium that the Kenyan team has to play in Kampala. It's humiliating. We brag of being the big brother of the region. We play our games. I play in the parliamentary games because it helps you to sometimes keep fit. The infrastructure you meet in terms of football and other sports. You meet in Kigali. You meet in Kampala. So we brag of all things. but are now constructing the first time a stadium of certain international repute called the Talanta Stadium. There's something drastically wrong, and Husein and Mariga, you need to fix it. It is, I see a lot of your delegates here today. I can see a big smile from Murila. Sunguti, when I was trying football, Sunguti coached me. He gave us a ball. When we all went to the stadium, he gave us a ball and said, kick it around. So nikasema hiyo ni coach aina gani? Kumbe anataka kujua nani yako na touch. Unajua when you've played football, it is always in you. Lakini ukiona picha ya mtu anapiga bola wakati anaangalia juu, ujue huyo yeye na football si watu wamoja. So I think the stories of the young people here who can't pay their rent means that there's a big challenge of monetizing football, commercializing it. But if I was a credible sponsor, if Carol Radu was a corporate sponsor, do you think she would sponsor Nick Mwendwa? Credibility and integrity in football is important so that we can attract the kind of resources that are required to build the game. And the people who manage football right now, apart from talking in a soprano voice, have nothing else to offer this country. So, we need to have people who are more audacious, people who can attract the sponsorship and the networks. And one extraordinary input that Mariga brings on board is the international contacts. The likes of Samuel Eto'o today have marketed Cameroonian football, despite the fact that Cameroonian football is also facing its own challenges. The fact that we can be beaten 4-1 means our challenges are bigger. Cameroon siku hizi haitishi vile. Sio ile Cameroon ya kina Eto'o na kina Roger Milla. That was the Cameroon, the indomitable Lions. The Kenya we watched in 1987, despite the fact kuna machi moja tulizima taa. But it was a big team. Kina Hassan Juma, sijui kina, boli ilikuwa imelala. 87. What has happened? Carol said we have to be angry. And being angry means all of you must work overtime to make sure that first and foremost, Nick and his team and any other who does not represent football in this country is nowhere near FKF. By all means, I will play my part in the manner I know how to play. And all of you must play your part. Haiwezekani. Our young people, maskini, with the talent, kuna mtu anakula pesa yao. People whose houses cannot raise rent. There's someone else who thinks he can fleece them for petty gain. Destroy talent in this country. Destroy the future of our people. And yet, I read stories about some of the biggest heroes in soccer, in footballing, in our football. You know me, I'm one person who never laughs at Onana. Because he's an African goalkeeper who has an impact on our football. We can't laugh at him even if we think you need to laugh at him. I always tell people, why are you ridiculing this guy? He's a good goalkeeper. I hear stories of Sadio Mane and the impact on their communities. You hear the story of Mariga and his desire to set up an academy, which is on cause. We hear the story of many of these former footballers who are trying day and night to ensure that they improve the quality of football in this country. Therefore, I think from this gathering is a march that we must not lose. Sisi wale tuko kwa serikali, tutafanya party yetu. Serikali gani haiwezi kujua kwa Mariga na Husein wataongoza mpira vizuri zaidi kuliko wao wengine. It's a common sense issue. Ati tuulize, haina haja ya kuuliza, mimi nimewaambia. How is it possible that you can't see? There's one verse in the Quran, and it's also in the Bible. You have eyes but cannot see, ears but cannot hear. But I can see and I can hear. I hear the voices of the young people. We hear the voices of the women football stars. We hear the voices of Harambee stars. We hear the voices of all the soccer fraternity, and we can see the destruction. We have no stadium. We have no youth development programs. We are lagging in infrastructure. There is theft. Alafu hii FIFA, muiambie. Najua hii FIFA, nasikia ati kila wakati watatuban. Carol, one day you need to write an incisive piece. Wajua racism, domineering, I might not be white, but hakuna any white person who has better credentials in management of what I do that can tell me I don't know how to do it better. Spain ikifanya makosa inapatiwa censure. Kabarua kamoja kameandikwa na lugha mbaya. Ati wewe mkisipofanya, Africa you ban it. One day CAF must decide that they will boycott FIFA until FIFA gives us enough respect. FIFA doesn't give us respect. Iko president yetu mwizi. Badala ya kubani yeye munaban Kenya. Stupidity of the highest order. Actually, they don't want interference in football. There are people who've interfered with football and made it better. And I think we need to take those bold steps. We will try your elections. God willing, you will win on the 7th of December. But if you don't win, which is not a possibility, hakuna mtu tutakubali haribu mpira zaidi hapo. Hiyo bani kuje, hiyo kitu kingine wachukue, lakini we will play the AFCON, we will play the African, all these tournaments in an atmosphere where there is good and tranquil leadership that offers a promise to the young people. Kwa hivyo, mimi nataka kuwashukuru sana for your time. It's not our day, it's Mariga's day, but all the time you are so passionate about these issues, and you know that there are two good men and a good team that wants to deliver football to its place. And that's why all of us are here, not to attend this function, but to serve as a tacit endorsement that Husein and Mariga is the future of football in Kenya. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Hassan Omar. You know, it's interesting you say that Africans, we don't know our power. I believe we have the most votes when it comes to FIFA, yet we don't use them. The lack of unity on this continent. Hey, I don't want to get into those domains. A little bit of Mushene. One day, ask Husein Mohammed to tell you how Nick Mwendwa tried to ban him from a Ronaldinho event. Yes, you heard me right. We were there together. He was told, can I say, Mushene, if Husein Mohammed goes for that event in Kisumu, any referee that participates in that tournament will never again work in a Kenyan league. You remember? And Husein, he chilled for a little bit and then he came back the next day. It's good to see Angie here from basketball, Sasha, my friend from rugby, because yes, all the sports need each other, and it's great that the sports are supporting each other. There's something that Jalango said about local derbies. I ran into my friends over here from Ruare FC. Who knows Ruare FC? They're one of the teams in Nyeri. When Ruare FC and Marafiki play in Nyeri, you cannot get a parking and you cannot get a seat in the stadium. Or should I say in the grounds, because it's not a stadium. That is how passionate the fans are about local derbies in Nyeri. Nyeri, not Kakamega, not Bondo, Nyeri. So we need a little bit of respect there. And the other thing Jalango said is peso or tas. Yeah, if you have any spare, you give it to him. It's now time for me to invite the next presidential candidate. We come a long way. I've come a long way with Husein Mohammed. That is why I'm standing here and endorsing him. It's not by fluke. And I have never endorsed a candidate, ever. But it's not by fluke that we find ourselves here. I remember working with Husein. It's been a long time, but I remember in 2007, 2008, when we were running our Kiss for Football program, And I could only find like 3 people to go to the stadium with me in the beginning. Jalango was one of them. We dragged Mutoko with her high heels and long nails. And we watched and we enjoyed a lot of football. And we made ourselves media partners. We were not asked. We made ourselves media partners. I believe it was FKL then. They were gracious enough to admit that they couldn't manage Harambee Stars. And a committee was formed, and Husein Mohammed was put in charge of that committee. And we literally managed Harambee Stars. Do you remember? And for the first time ever, we got our ranking below 70. Was it 64? The highest ranking Harambee Stars it was 64. 68. It was 68. Harambee Stars' highest ever ranking. Yes. And Husein Mohammed was on that committee, leading that committee that saw us forcefully manage Harambee Stars and get them there. This guy has come a long way. We all know Super 8. We had Innocent Mutiso. I didn't know he spoke English like that. But we saw Innocent Mutiso in his eloquence saying how he benefited from Super 8. And so many other footballers in this country benefited from that program.
Please be seated. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Asanteni sana. In the interest of time, Secretary General, Yala MP, Secretary General of the ruling party, UDA, and the Yala MP Hassan Omar, Salome Biako, a good friend of mine, PS for Correctional Services, all members of parliament, MCAs, delegates, footballers, my lovely family at the back, all my dear friends who've made it here today, and the many, many more who sent apologies that they could not make it here. Mine is to say thank you. A very chairman who will participate at the National Congress. In this journey, so here I can see Salma, here I can see Salma, I can see 2011, but I never ran after that. Mariga's dad was one of my biggest supporters then, and I'm so happy to join us once again in bringing this seat home. And this time around, I'm very confident that we are winning. Asante mzee for offering your son to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I can spend another 1 hour talking about my manifesto. I talked about it in brief during my launch. And my pillars are very simple. I will address the past about former footballers, and that's why they are the stars here today, and Mariga will be the anchor when it comes to addressing issues of footballers. We will deal with the present, what is going wrong currently in football, and we will fix it. I will give a more detailed, in-depth analysis or view of my manifesto and articulate it better at another time. And thirdly, we will also talk about the future. We will invest in the future. We will have a lot to do with infrastructure development, because without it, you cannot monetize sport. You cannot monetize football if you don't build the requisite infrastructure. So it is critical that we get it right. And PS, thank you for offering a collaboration opportunity with the Federation on this matter. With the high schools and as the schools, asanteni sana for gracing this occasion. I know the relationship with the Federation has not been rosy before, but it's going to change. It's going to be different. And the reason is we know the importance of investing in our children, and we understand it very well. And it is a key pillar for our success. If we are to play in the World Cup in 2030, the players today are between the ages of 9 and 12, because in 2030 they'll be at their prime. Under 19 today will not help us in 2030. They can pursue their career professionally, but the ones who will play in World Cup for Kenya are now between 9 and 12, and we must identify them, we must nurture them, we must take care of them, and we must give them the best platform so that we can have one of the best teams representing Kenya and Africa at the World Cup. So, without taking too much time, I know time has moved. It is, of course, I was given a speech which I'm not going to go through. I will skip right to, I think, what I was supposed to read as part of introducing our chief guest today and the star of the evening. So, throughout history, here goes. The greatest victories have not been won by individuals, but by partnerships. In this arduous quest to restore Kenya's lost glory, I looked at where we've been, the struggles we faced, and the heights we are yet to scale, and sought a partner whose passion matches my ambition. Global icons agree with this too.
Hello everyone, I'm Musa Sissoko, international French player. I'm playing for Watford now. So I'm making that video today for my brother Mariga that has played at the highest level in football. And I think today he can have the opportunity to help the Kenya football. So I think it can be good to support him, and if he can join the federation, I think that can bring Kenya to the next level. So he knows the football very well, so let's give him some support, and I'm sure he can help you guys to go to the next step.
Hi all, hope you're well. Benny McCarthy here. I just wanted to put my support in for McDonald Mariga to run for a post in the Federation of Kenya Football Association. I think it's very important for ex-players to have their voice in the way our football is run in Africa. So all the very best to you, McDonald, and I hope this video helps in your support running for a post in the Federation of Kenya Football Association, okay? Thank you very much, and take care, my friend.
Hi, my name is Victor Wanyama, professional football player currently playing for CF Montreal. I'm here to support the candidacy of Husein Mohammed and McDonald Mariga. As we all know, Mariga is a former professional football player. He has played at the highest level, winning so many accolades, Champions League, Serie A. As we all know, Mariga has had great exposure all over the years that he has played. He will bring professionalism in Kenyan football, and also he has shown great leadership on and off the pitch, internationally and locally. So let's all rally behind them and give them the support they need.
Who has not only played the game, but has been defined by it. He is a living, breathing testament to what is possible for thousands across the nation if we finally get our football right. He is the very proof that from the dust of our grassroots, Kenyan talents can rise to stand tall on the world's biggest stages. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a captain, a champion, and the next FKF Vice President.
From the grassroots and the dusty fields of Nairobi,
McDonald Mariga. Partnership between Husein, Mohammed, and McDonald.
coaches, honorable members, and our incoming president, FKF Husein. Hamjambo. Good evening. Nashukuru sana. Kwanza nataka kushukuru kwanza familia kwa sababu wamenitoa mbali. First, I'll thank my dad, my mom, my brothers and sisters, because unajua hao ndo wametulea. The second thing, I'll thank Sasha, because you know sports, rugby, football ni kitu moja. So thank you Sasha to come and support our football here. Tutakaa chini kidogo tusemezane tujue vile tunapeleka sports yetu mbele. The other thing I'll talk about Jalas kidogo, watu wa siasa. Because unajua one day nilikuwa na travel kutoka Eldoret na nikapatana na Jalas pale kwa ndege. Akaniambia nimpatie points za siasa. So ukiona pia hapa Jalas nimempatia points kidogo, nikamwambia kaa na wamama hapo kwa politics. Na mimi nilishindwa yeye akapita. Then lastly I'll thank my MP, my coach. You know, ndamuita pia mzazi kwa sababu amenilea. Sijui nimuite MP ama nimuite mwalimu ama nimuite nani? Orero. Kwa sababu unajua when I joined Kamkunji, yeye ndo aliniadmit hapo. So nilikuwa mdogo form 1, akaniangalia akaniambia wewe utawezana hapa kweli? Tuko na maform 4 watu wakubwa wewe na hii mwili yako utaweza. But na confidence ile alitupatia na pia mazoezi ile alitupatia ilitusaidia sana. And you know, amekuwa akinipiga sana nikiwa secondary school. Unajua ile mwalimu anakupiga bila tu makosa, ndo ukue discipline uende ucheze mpira. So I thank him a lot. Alafu tukapatana tena hapa kwa siasa. Nikaona tena hapa sasa ndafanya aje? Nimpige lakini tena ni revenge huku ya shule ama nifanye aje? So lakini na respect ile alikuwa saa nilikuwa tuna campaign, mnajua mimi ni mtu wenyu, lakini pia pale kuna mwalimu wangu. Kama mtampatia ni sawa. Msipatie mwingine, ni mimi ama mwalimu. So ndo sasa mwalimu yuko hapo MP. Na sasa tumemwachia kae hapo. Sisi tusukume hii mambo yetu ya mpira. Kwa sababu hapa ndo tunajua kabisa. Asanteni sana.
All right, we want this to take a little bit of a Q&A, and we're going to run through it very quickly because we are late on time. So, Mariga, I just want to ask you a few questions here. Now, we all know about your victories, your medals, your goal, your wonder goal at Nyayo Stadium. I was there. I remember. But it was very tough getting to the top. Mention very briefly about the process that got you to the pinnacle of world football.
You know, here in Kenya, it's not very easy to make it when you are a football player. It's very difficult. Na kitu imefanya ikue, we make it very difficult is management. You know, when you were playing, it was not that easy. But at least the management was good, and you know, back then, tulikuwa ile the lowest offers unaweza pata, we had Americans. Kila mtu alikuwa anakuja kuchukuliwa na scholarship ya America, which now hatuna kabisa. Ndo kumaanisha yani we were doing a little bit better, but we want to go to another step, turudi tuifanye ikue base ya you know, football na base ya kuleta scouts here in this country. So kitu naweza sema ni Karo ni football, we have to involve our ex-players, we have to involve, you know, stakeholders wakuje vile rugby. We have to get sponsorships, kwa sababu sponsorship ndio inafanya mpira yetu inaanguka. But again, sponsors pia wakikuja, kama tuko corrupt, no one will support our football. So we want a regime that they'll account for everything they are doing in the office. Na I think kila kitu itakuwa mzuri. Yeah.
McDonald, two things. Just before you left for Europe, you had to be a soldier. Ulikuwa ulinzi ukakupatia chance. Confidence ulitoa wapi kuacha job ya usoja ukapasiu soka? And then secondly, the challenges watu wa mtaa wanapitia, watu kule mashinani. How did you hizi challenges ulizi overcome aje? Because the next time tulikuona Europe. Tuanze na hiyo ya kwanza.
Yeah, you know, kitu ya muhimu ni discipline. Because when you were brought up, mom na dad walikuwa very, very strict. So even before, nilikuwa napenda boxing kwa sababu nimelelewa ni boxing. So mama alikuwa anatupiga sana hataki tucheze boxing. Dada nararua vitu tumepatiwa za boxing. So ikabidi tufosiwe kwa football. Na ndo tumefika hapa. So I think discipline is the key. Na pia football ni kujinyima. Unafaa ujinyime na hiyo kujinyima unawacha vitu mingi. So when we grow up it was not very easy kwa sababu you know before even watakuambia lazima uingie shule, lazima usome, and now we have to even to talk to our kids kwa sababu pia tunataka tuwanache vizuri. We have to force them to do even school. They have to go through school. They have to study, and we balance both academics and sports. So I think we have to empower our young talent na tuambie pia school is the way.
Mariga, how do you feel when you see what players are going through and have been going through for the last couple of years in Kenyan football? And as much as the men struggle a lot, the women are like a few light years behind that. Mm-hmm. How does it make you feel? And what do you think should be done about the fact that Kenyan players cannot earn from the sport?
You know, here it's very sad because, you know, our players are not involved in our federation because we have even ex-players. You see the federation now, we don't have ex-players. We have to fix them somewhere. You know, and this is their field. So we have to involve ex-players. So we cannot all be coaches, we cannot all be team managers. So tunafaa tuwa include pia kwa youths, tunafaa tuwa include wakue scouts. Ndio sasa hapo tutaweza kunacha more talents. So what I've talked with my incoming president is we have to empower our ex-players. We have to give them sports in we have to give them some engagement in our football space because the football is big and you want everyone to be involved.
Now, wait, he's not mentioned. He's not mentioned women. He's not mentioned women.
Yeah, you know.
And our women do so well. They do so well in football.
Yeah, Upper Kenya, first of all, congratulations the team. We qualified for World Cup under 17, women, under 17. Yeah, now we are playing World Cup. We won the first game. So women are doing so well. But tumewacha nyuma sana. We have to empower them more. We have to have good league for women running. Vile tuko na FKF vile ina run. So women football, we have to take them serious. We have good coaches, women coaches. We want even them to come and coach our Harambee Stars. So women lazima tuwapatie space yao.
Well, McDonald, as we move forward, the entire country is looking up to your candidature. What does the future look like?
Yeah, you know, I've been in this football. I've played local football. I've played professional football, high level. And, you know, future of football, we want it to be, we want to reach level of West Africa countries. Kwa sababu, you know, West Africa, first thing in Europe, agent akitokea akitaka players, wanakimbilia West Africa. Hapa Kenya tulikuwa tumeambiwa sisi ni watu wa athletics. But when we came forward, tuko na Champions League, tuko na my brother amecheza ako na runners up ya Champions League. Tuko na wakina Uliech pia wamecheza high level. Tuko na wachezaji wengi wakina Shituma, wakina Ubea, they have played in Europe. So kwa saa hii tumeenda chini kidogo and we have less professional players outside there. And that means football yetu is not doing very well. And now our ambition is to bring back our players to go and play in Europe. We want more players to be engaged in, you know, Champions League, the UEFA, and you know, the big leagues in Europe. So I think it's time to nurture our talents and turudi kama zamani. tukue na kina Mariga, Soliech, Boyas, out there.
Tell us about the slogan you have chosen as we wind up. What? Tell us about the slogan, a fresh start.
Start. A slogan
and your partnership.
A slogan is a fresh start. And for sure, everyone wants something new in this football. You know how players are being treated here in Kenya. We are like, you don't have a say. In Europe, I can tell you a story. Maybe I can tell you about Mourinho. Mourinho is a big coach in Europe, and he respects every player, even if you are 16 years old, 17 years old, he respects the players. But here in Kenya, we do, it's opposite. You see, maybe if you're a president of federation, then you treat everyone the way you want. You think that the federation is your house. I'm telling you now that if me and Husein, you give us this chance, and I know we are winning on 7th of December, tutapatia every player atapatiwa respect yake. Kwa sababu we are not big. Me and Husein will be, kwa hiyo hierarchy, tusi ndio tutakuwa mwisho. We have to put players first. Tunafaa tuwabeleze kama mayai so that they can be for their allowances. We have to give them reasonable salaries. Na hiyo ni kitu ita take time. Haitakuwa easy because we have to put to let our sponsors on board. And we know very well our players are not paid well. Hiyo ni kitu tunajua. And tuna struggle sana. First thing, unajua when you are in sports, you have to eat well, you have to rest well. Haufai kuwa unafikiria vitu mingi. That's how Europe wametuweka. Tukicheza, you don't have stress. Unakuja tu game, you don't even think about family, you are there to play. But here in Kenya, you don't have food. Watoto wako nyumbani, hujui watakula nini. If you are married, if you have a family, hujui shule itakuwa vipi. So it's a we are in very, very bad state. And now I think we have to talk more with our sponsors. We start bringing up this discussion of sponsorship. Uganda, Tanzania, I'll give an example of Uganda and Tanzania, Rwanda. Sasa wametupita. Zamani Uganda na Tanzania walikuwa waezi ongea kitu yote kushinda Kenya. But you see now, they pay their players well. They respect their players. Na hapo wametushinda. They have been participating in Africa Cup, I think, 4-5 times in a row. Si tumeenda once. And I think we are very, very talented here in Kenya. We have talent. That's why I can say, if we nurture our talent, we'll have big, big players. Watapita mali sisi tulifika, watawakilisha vyema. Yeah.
All right, and finally, in closing, if in one sentence you can give us a message of hope, a message for the young players, a message for the fans, a message for the investors, the corporates. What is your final message before I invite your running mate, or who's running mate, before I invite Husein back up so that we can celebrate this partnership?
With Husein, we know it won't be easy, but with our experience, we've been in this industry for many years, on the pitch and off the pitch, and we've learned a lot of lessons in everything together. We can build something truly special to the young players, and to dreaming of greatness. And even to the fans, another challenge is our fans. We don't have fans, they're not coming to watch us in stadiums now anymore, Tuko na kidogo sana, wale wanakuja kwa stadium. So I think even that, I know Radul, you started Jaza Study, and that was a good initiative, and